Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Mike Rath. What up? He wants to know what I think of the Canadian version of Big Brother. And I have to say, I really enjoy it. I especially like compared to the US Big Brother. This Big Brother doesn't take any crap. They don't like when the house guests don't listen. They make them stay up during the day for the most part. And I also really like the special challenges that they have, like with Marsha the Moose and like the secret diary room missions. So I really appreciate that. I'd love to see more of that on the US version. But like as far as this season goes, I think I like last season's cast better. But you never know, this cast could spice things up, so we'll see. But I really am enjoying the Canadian version. So, if you want to be house guest of the day, send me a private message on YouTube. Alright, let's talk a little bit about last night's episode. It was crazy. The segment with Ika deciding if she was going to take the $5,000 or give everyone their letters from home was the best thing ever. It is probably like, it just went right into like the top moments of any Big Brother's history. It was amazing. I mean, I feel bad for like laughing at people crying, but I don't blame myself, so whatever. But then later on, Ika was evicted 8-1, which kind of sucked, and we find out that Canada is the HOH this week. So Canada, pressure's on, time to make some big moves. You heard Peter and Gary during the sideshow. I watched the sideshow for the first time this week. It was pretty good. Okay, so there was some sort of party last night for the house guests, I'm thinking, when the feeds were off after they taped the live show. They had some beer, food, backyard games. I think they had like hockey sticks and wiffle balls and like a hockey net or goal or something. And it kind of like smells of halfway party, but I don't think it was. They usually do have the halfway party at a point in time which does not seem like it's logically the halfway point, but I feel like it's usually after the first 4 have been evicted. So it might have been halfway party, it may not have been, but who knows. Someone who is really enjoying that hockey stuff, John, he's a big hockey player, but he really needs to get it together. He made another remark, which is a little controversial. I'm gonna say what it was, just so you guys know, but I would never, like, use this terminology, but he said, "What's up, queer bag?" to Kenny. Now, of course, he doesn't know that Kenny is gay, so he doesn't know the extra level of, like, ew, that's added onto that. But even though he doesn't know that, it's still not cool. And he defended himself, saying, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, like, it's a Newfie thing. I thought that was, like, a Newfoundland phrase for weird, and, like, we made it up or something." Have you ever left your town before? What? That's not a Newfie thing, and it's totally, like, offensive in the rest of the world, so don't say that anymore. And a number of the house guests did say, like, "Dude, that's not cool, stop using that word, don't do it." So, I mean, I don't know. This is the second time that he's said something like that, so I don't know if he's just, like, kind of ignorant and he hasn't, like, seen much of the world yet, or what, but it doesn't, to me, it doesn't seem like it's coming from a malicious place. Like, last season, it just, like, was so awkward and, like, awful, the things that they were saying, but this seems like a middle schooler with, like, no vocabulary. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Regardless, it needs to stop. Moving on. Sabrina was feeling icky and pukey yesterday, and it carried over into this morning. She was like, "I don't know what's wrong with me, blah." She was milking it like crazy, like a cow. Whoops. So she was like, "Is anyone talking about me? Oh my god, my stomach is like, ugh, can you make me tea?" So she was really, really milking it. But then somebody this afternoon was like, "Oh man, we got sushi." She jumps out of bed, throws off the covers, and it's like, "I feel so much better." It's so weird. So I think that was very telling. But they did have the have-not competition today, just in time for her to feel better, and it had something to do with balloons. I know that they were all dressed up in like fancy attire. Must have been like kitty pageant formal wear, but they had some matching outfits, and it looked like the competition had some sort of party or celebration theme. Again, we are at that halfway point. They're like 30 days in or something, so I'm thinking it probably had something to do with that. And the have-nots this week are John, Sabrina, and Adele. So they've all been have-nots before, and this is the second week in a row for Sabrina and Adele. So, I don't know if we're going to see some mega breakdowns this week or what, but that being said, last week the have-nots got it really easy because there were multiple, like, special eating things where like the have-nots were allowed to participate, so it wasn't like the worst thing ever last week, but still 2 weeks in a row really sucks. So there hasn't been that much strategy talk in the last day because Canada's the HOH, so no one in the house has a say of who's going up on the block, so they don't really have that much to talk about until somebody's nominated. So they are all waiting anxiously for nominations, which should be happening tomorrow morning. And I think some feelings are really going to be hurt because this is going to be telling. It's going to show who Canada likes, who Canada doesn't like. So I think some people are in for a rude awakening. First five. First five, grab a life vest. So I think it's going to be interesting to watch. And Arlie is kind of sensing that his alliance is in trouble with Canada because he knows, like, these people are jerks. It's not good. So he is pretty much ready to jump that first five ship with Sarah by his side. He's like, yeah, if like Andrew and Kenny or Sabrina or any of them are nominated, let's get the F out and give Canada what they want. So I want to ask you guys, who do you think Canada will nominate? I'm going with definitely first five members. I'm thinking it's going to be Andrew and Sabrina with a possible chance of Kenny, but I think Andrew and Sabrina are like numero uno y dos, so they might be on the block, and I think those two will probably take it the hardest, so it's gonna be cool to watch. And Sabrina was like dissing the whole thing. She was like, it's not fair that Canada's deciding because they don't even know what's going on. Really, Sabrina? We see everything. So, that's all I have for you today. I'm sure tomorrow is going to be really exciting, so make sure you don't miss it. And until then, much love.